Greetings and welcome to the Dicey Cantina and our podcast reboot of the series. I'm Andrew Armstrong III, your host and game master. If you're joining us for the first time, the Dicey Cantina is not only a bar, but a secret rebel hideout in the slum city of Central Isthmus on the planet Druckenwell, rimward on the Corellian trade node. There, it's run by Brack, who also leads the rebel cell, and with whatever crew he can cobble together each week, will strike back against the Empire. And with that, our story begins. On this planet far, far away, a long time ago. Yeah, we'll do 2 blacks for the called shot, and I'm going to spend the last token that I have to upgrade a second time, and he has a rank in adversary but no defense, and so you've got 2 red to roll.
Really should have spent more time fighting with this thing. Practicing with it. My melee skill is low. Alright, he adds one.
Which you tell Ginkgo before you cut, right?
Right, exactly.
I really should have practiced this more.
I really should have practiced it more. No.
What?
Okay, I got 1 success and 1 triumph.
Ooh. How do you want to spend your triumph?
Oh, man. I want to... Oh, man. Well, obviously, the tentacle gets separated, but maybe it buys us some time to get Ginkgo back on his feet, or causes the thing to recoil for a turn or something, like be stunned or something like that.
Okay.
Or for us to have some. I forget I think that the triumph does something even more than just giving us some blues or extra defense on the next one. So yeah, so free Ginkgo and get it back on his feet and ready to go, I guess.
Okay, so we can. And the other thing, not that you necessarily want to do this, but you can also get a free crit for the triumph, or we can treat it as as a delay. Basically, I'll give you both another turn, and it'll scream in pain and not act for a round, and you guys can each have another turn. It's one or the other, though.
Actually, I just realized I didn't roll any threat, and I forgot to add that advantage. So I do have an advantage.
Okay.
And the critical threshold on the Vibrous Sword is 1.
Oh, okay.
So
and it's vicious one too, isn't it?
It's a vicious 1, yeah. So I'm going to take the crit and get Ginkgo back on his feet.
Okay. It was supposed to be either or, Paul.
Yes. I know. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I guess I will roll that here. Actually, yeah. Okay. So we're activating the crit, and it's vicious 1, so it'll be plus 10.
Right.
So we roll a 15, and my chart's over here. So it'll be a 25 to this guy. 25 is in the range for... Oh, that's the ships. It's losing power to shields.
Excellent. Excellent. I knocked out its shields with 1 stroke.
Now it's vulnerable.
It's off balance. That makes perfect sense, narratively.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, he's lopsided.
Because it's missing a tentacle, right?
Yeah. So it howls in pain, and the tentacle around Ginkgo's leg goes limp and lifeless as it flails about. This disgusting water is splashing everywhere as it screams. And you guys have 1 more turn each you can do.
So narratively, Veer is kind of grabbing Ginkgo and helping him up.
Okay.
But I'm going to let Ginkgo act, obviously.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, because we don't necessarily need to keep fighting this thing. We got the power on.
Oh, is it?
And that was...
Yeah, okay.
That was the only objective we have for being down here, right? Yeah. So when Ginkgo gets onto his feet, he goes, well, that should keep him busy for a little while. We should probably leave before he comes back.
Veer keeps his eyes on the water and kind of nods and says, start going that way. I'll be right behind you.
All right. 33, keep a lookout. And then Ginkgo starts back down at a fast pace, the catwalk.
Okay, so you can make it to the door for the maneuvers that you're using there. Is Veer following, or what you got going?
Yeah. He's not one to fight a sewer monster just because. If Ginkgo tells him the job is done and it's time to go, yeah, he's happy to do it. He does pause for a second, though, to take out his parrying dagger so that he has both his weapons out.
Okay.
And he's kind of backing, trying to stay close to Ginkgo and backing towards the exit.
So as you guys kind of head out through the doorway back to that double wide catwalk, back the way you came, you'll recall down below you, just a little ways, is still the water spillway. This is still connected, and so the monster, you see it kind of settle itself from its screaming, and the tentacles kind of come back under the water, and you see this eye pop up, and there's a bit of a wake as it rushes in your direction down the same tunnel that you guys are down in, and it's going to take a swipe at you guys, Veer specifically.
With those two weapons out, I have 2 melee defense.
Okay. Cutting off its limb was a big help. So he's got 3 black dice added to this now.
Well, if you're going to get in a fight with a tentacle monster, you want to lead with a triumph, I think.
Yeah, you want to lead with a triumph and less tentacles to be fighting.
I think Sun Tzu said that, actually.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay.
So it's got 2 success, 4 threats, and 1 triumph.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So you're gonna have 6 damage coming at you.
Okay.
Apply your soak.
And okay, apply the soak on this one. All right.
All right, and then also skipping soak. Apply 2 strain and another wound. So this eyeball pops up above the water line. This wake charges towards you guys, and there's this, the sense of rage from this monster. It's not thinking about its surroundings, and as the tunnel narrows, the waterway also narrows, and there's less of it, and the monster slams into this narrower tunnelway and is stuck there, or it was too big to come after you guys. Several of the tentacles, about 4 of them, also reach forward with the same momentum, and they swipe Veer hard, hitting him up against the wall, and 2 of them grab the legs of Veer. So each leg is ensnared by a tentacle, and Veer's pulled down onto the walkway, and the tentacles are beginning to pull him towards the water, towards the open maw of the monster.
I think I made it bad.
Man, this thing doesn't know when to quit. 33. Take out his eye. You do that, and I'll free Veers.
Goes 33's little stun gun comes out and goes for the eye. The eye itself retreats back in, so the creature's blinded on its next attack because you got just 2 advantage, but it didn't do any damage, so it didn't actually end up freeing anybody. And Veer, it's your turn.
Well, then, since I can't spend my maneuver on attacking, I'd like to spend my maneuver to aim. Can I aim with a melee weapon?
Yes, you can aim with the melee weapon.
Okay. Well, then let's aim with the melee weapon and try very carefully to cut the tentacle and not my leg off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Aim lower. Aim lower.
That's right. I can see a lot better now.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of success.
Your sword does 6, right?
Yeah, so 6 damage. So that's 13 damage, pierce 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. You guys are fine. I don't know why I thought this would be a bad. So you slice through both tentacles at this point, freeing your legs. The tentacle monster has, of course, now half as many tentacles as it started with. It starts to. It's less vigorous in its attacks, and now being stuck in the wall, it has 1 tentacle left, kind of flopping around, but it's whimpering a little bit. It looks like it doesn't want to keep fighting you guys. That it bit off a little more than it could chew.
I would say Ginkgo helps him up and recognizes that it's stuck and can't follow us any farther down the tunnel. Come on, I don't think he can make it any farther.
Veer kind of follows Ginkgo back to what seems a safe distance, and then he starts taunting the monster a little bit, like, yeah, that's what I thought.
You make sure it's out of reach first.
Yeah, you make sure, he's going to make sure it's out of reach, and then he's going to taunt it as he kind of keeps walking back, moving away as he taunts it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You tried to eat the wrong guy, didn't you? Huh? Got any more tentacles you want me to shorten for you?
And then you hear echoing back down right by the eye socket of the monster. And as 33 taunts the monster from right next to it. Feeling pretty tough, you can tell it's just mimicking Veer as it just hovers around.
Veer.
All right, come on, 33. Let's get out of here. Leave it alone.
And it hovers back over your shoulder as you guys head back the way you came, just now walking through the sewers, successfully having completed your mission.
Man, I can't wait to get back. I've been dying to get a bigger bedroom. Brock, he's a snorer.
Veer kind of looks at his sword and the goo on it and his clothes and his legs and he's like, just get me out of this sewer.
And from that, the scene transitions back over to Jaws and Lizzie.
Well, Lizzie, you play quite the limpet.
That was awesome! Oh my gosh, it felt so good to be so condescending to that bureaucrat. Ugh.
Let's not forget you were condescending to me.
Yeah, that felt good too. I mean, no, that was awesome. Great job, White Claw.
Yeah, we make an okay team, I guess. It's... come to think of it, I could use some help on a job later.
Does it involve tip yips?
Not quite.
Okay, good.
In scene. Does it involve Tipius?
Yeah.
So when we last left you guys, you had split up and had gone out and done your individual missions. And now that those are complete, the crew have returned to the Dicey Cantina. Lizzie and Jaws, as you guys are walking into the Dicey Cantina, you look around. There's only 2 or 3 of the lonely hearts, so to speak, sitting around in the cantina in the early afternoon. Ginkgo's there, sitting at one of the tables in the center, just down a few steps from you guys. But he looks up and sees you guys and waves you over.
Lizzie looks at Ginkgo's plate and says, special, huh?
Hey, guys. How'd it go?
Apparently better for us than it did for you. You seem to be missing somebody.
Oh, yeah. Veers needed a little, let's say, nap after our adventure down in the sewer. But, man, it was a piece of kelp. It was real easy.
You got it done?
We got it done. We got the power on. I'm ready to see my new room. We've just been waiting for you guys.
Fantastic. It was pretty sweet, actually. They catered our lunch.
Well, it sounds like you guys had a much easier time than we did.
You want some noodles?
Sure. Pile it on here. It goes good with shrimp, right?
So, wait, aren't you a Mon Calamari?
Yeah.
And you're eating...
We
Okay.
love seafood.
Oh, God. Okay. Yeah. All right. So how did it go? How did it go for you guys? What happened? How'd you get into trouble?
Well, there was an unexpected visitor down there. We ran into a Dianoga monster. What we call it, a monster?
I don't even know what that is.
Dianoga creature. Oh, it's, typical one-eyed, 7-tentacled, water-dwelling sewer monster. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't really like us turning the lights on, but we got out of there pretty quick. Veer managed to separate him from several of his tentacles, so I don't think he's going to be coming back for any more soon.
Well, that's good, because we don't want him, disconnecting the power or anything.
Yeah, shouldn't be a problem. How'd things go over at the station?
Total cakewalk. We just basically walked in, bullied our way past the security, and yeah, explained that this is how things are done now in the Empire, and they needed to get with the times, and then they ordered us lunch and turned on the stuff.
Great. So the disguises worked, huh?
Totally worked, and yeah, Jaws here makes a great slave.
I'm her limpet now.
So from the back behind the bar, from you guys, you see Brack coming out, and he's wiping down his hands and all of that, and he sees that you're all around the table and heads your way. It's like, oh, Lizzie, it's good to see you. Everything go okay?
Yeah. Did you notice any changes to the cantina?
Well, yeah, I saw the power's on now, which is excellent. Well, I'll ask this question. I have something I want to show you guys first.
Alrighty.
And so he stands up and he heads back behind the bar with you guys kind of motions for you guys to follow him. And he walks through one of those, typical kitchen doors. It's got like the circular window in it and it just swings and all of that. Mm-hmm. Inside the kitchen, there's the Charger fan, Nika, who's the chef, just working away with the food and meal prep. And Brack opens up the freezer door there in front of you guys and kind of ushers you in. And, as you're standing in this small freezer, he kind of pushes aside some of the produce. And you notice kind of for the first time, it blends into the wall bit, is a turbolift door, the Star Wars equivalent of an elevator.
Nice.
And he hits the call button and puts a code, and the door opens up, and he motions you guys inside.
Lizzie memorizes the code.
He will share the code. Yes, you guys know the code. He's not going to keep it a secret from you guys. And he kind of takes a peek out, makes sure nobody's around, and closes the door. And the turbolift starts to descend a little bit. So the convenient thing about all of this is it was set up by my father. It is kind of this cantina is actually I don't know if you can tell, it's actually an old wrecked Corellian Corvette.
Really?
Yeah, it crashed nose first into the marshes, and most people assumed that it obliterated, on impact, as most spaceships would. But the marsh was so, marshy that the huge section, the midsection of the ship stayed intact, just oriented nose down, which is why it doesn't always kind of look like a ship. Nice. Engines have been removed and all of that from the top. And so this will be this will be your new home.
All right.
And the turbolift kind of dings and opens up as you would expect it to if you were watching this as a movie. And in front of you is a common room in front of you. It kind of opens up into the kind of like, it almost feels kind of like a lobby or a barracks kind of common room that's got, the little bit of entertainment, places to sit and read and all of that. And you notice there's kind of a hallway that kind of splits around, and Brack steps off the turbo lift and kind of shows you guys around. And it's just it's a pretty quick walk around, but he's pointing to his left as he goes. These are the bunk rooms. This is kind of, they're not really big. They're decent sized little rooms with some bunks in them. But there's like 10 or 15 of them. So you guys can kind of have your pick here.
I call first dibs. 33, go find the biggest room.
But Bragg motions to his right, come to the briefing room to it. And it's got a little hollow table in the middle. Brack's very, excited for you guys to see this. And he's like, this is where we can coordinate our push against the Empire. This is where it'll all happen. You guys all have a home here in the cantina. You can come and go as you please. He pulls up a data pad and he pushes it to your guys' personal data pads, the code to the door and some of that information.
Nice. Thanks,
Yeah.
Brack. This is amazing.
I got one more thing to show you guys. And he leads you guys back to the turbo lift. So you end up on the third floor down. There's a lot of kind of open storage space, but around the middle of this one, it's open to the floor below it. And Brack begins to explain. This is where all the supplies will be run. Ginkgo, I know that Mim brought you down, and she's been having to run supplies for us and land in on the far side of the planet and shuttling things in through speeder. I'm going to have you take a look at those hangar doors down there, because if we can get those working, then there's a place on the cliffs out on the edge of the isthmus that this connects to. And so we'll be able to bring in supplies that way, all under the Empire's nose.
Great. Yeah, no problem. She's going to love that.
Sweet. Yeah, this looks like a great place to start a rebellion. Lizzie gets like a glint in her eye.
So that kind of wraps up the storyline, but there's one thing I'd like to do to kind of close it out. 33 obviously found the biggest bunk room to it. Every room has kind of 2 bunks to it, but there'll be some time that passes between now and the next storyline. So describe for me really quickly how each of you will go about decorating your room.
Well, since 33 found Ginkgo's room, it's going to have a workbench in it with lots of little doodads for his modifications on 33 and any weapons he collects. The room is also going to be set to damp, very humid, so his skin doesn't dry out too easily. He doesn't have to wear that big moisture suit as often. And a big poster of Admiral Akbar.
Lizzie is going to keep her room pretty minimalist. She's going to use lighting and anything she can scavenge, make it look a little bit like home, not too much like her old detective agency, but, maybe she'll have like a potted plant. She'll keep the lighting kind of subdued in there. Always a little bit of jazz playing in the background. And, but yeah, pretty Spartan and minimal. Sleek and modern might be another way to describe it, but or might be a way to describe it if it wasn't all salvage. So we're going from sleek and modern to a Spartan and minimalistic. And that's okay.
Did she keep the busted head of Jeeves in her room?
Yes, she does. Kind of in a place of honor, but not immediately visible, like from the doorway. It's one of those things that it's not like hidden, but it's not like on display either. Like it's in a spot, kind of in a corner, an alcove, where she has it to remind her of like everything she's lost and why she's there. So
that's good. So here's something I picture, and you don't have to take it if you don't want it. But so each of these rooms is kind of I'm picturing them in the Firefly-esque bunk rooms that everybody kind of had. So it's not too much larger than having a cot and like a shelf and maybe like a tiny corner desk along those ways. But what I pictured while you were saying that was that Lizzie probably might have the cot where the head's oriented at the far wall, so she can always look at the door if it was open. And next to the door is the shelf that she has that she can put some of her trinkets and things on. And I'm picturing books, even though those are more rare in Star Wars, but something kind of book shaped on the shelf on the end facing the door. So if you were coming in the door, you wouldn't see it. But Jeeves's head is on the other end, like kind of a book end of that shelf.
Yes.
And that would have it essentially staring at her when she's laying in bed, but wouldn't be immediately noticeable to anybody who came into the room. They'd have to come all the way into the room in order to kind of take to see it. So it kind of stares at her while she sleeps.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be where she would put him. What about you, Jaws?
So Jaws is used to having bounty hunters after him all the time. So he arranges his furniture to where his bed is the furthest from the door, but he's going to put things in the way to where you can't just walk straight from the door straight to his bed. So you have to make a little maze, and he's gonna stash a blaster under his pillow, just in case. I mean, we don't think anyone's gonna come down here, but just in case someone does, it gives you that little split second to react, and so no one can get the drop on him. He still doesn't trust anybody, and just by his nature, he's kind of wary of everyone. Well, he's not particularly good in a fight. He's just good at spotting when they're coming and preparing.
Oh, sure.
So he's kind of, he notices things. That's the way he stays alive.
Is there somewhere to put our Dianoga tentacle?
His awareness is what keeps him from keeps the bounties from being collected.
The common room, I haven't described anything that's in there. I imagine there's some shelves and some places to sit. So you might put your Dianoga tentacle there, or you might put it in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We need a fridge.
Yeah, there's definitely a fridge. It's a full functioning kitchen in there.
Are you gonna like eat it?
I mean, I guess. I don't know. Never tried it. I know they eat trash, so that probably wouldn't taste too good.
Are you gonna cure it? Lizzie becomes very concerned about like the smell of rotting Dianoga tentacle seeping into her room.
We didn't really grab one. I would assume maybe Veers did, but it's more his trophy than it is mine.
Okay, well, as long as y'all like, keep that stuff properly taxidermied or whatever.
As far as I know, you guys left all the tentacles in the sewer.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They came from the sewer. Ew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's try.
And yeah, there definitely wasn't a fresher beforehand, so you smell a little bit of sewer.
Yeah, let's try to leave all the trash trophies in the trash. Just a thought.
Brat kind of nods in approval.
Yeah, you could probably visit the refresher too, Genko. Not to put too fine a point on it, buddy.
End of episode? I don't know. Is that where it ends? That's all for this week, but come back next week for more from the Dicey Cantina. If you're enjoying the show and you want to help us grow, please leave a 5-star rating and review on your favorite pod service. Subscribe to the podcast, of course, and recommend us to all your friends. You can also find us on social media on Facebook as well as YouTube at Dicey Cantina, all one word. The Dicey Cantina is GM'd by myself, Andrew Armstrong III. Lizzie Pree is played by Jessica Martin. Veer is played by Paul Craig. Ginkgo is played by Grant Bowen. And Jaws is played by Brian Russell. The Force and Destiny role-playing game is a product of Fantasy Flight Games from fantasyflightgames.com. Star Wars is owned by Disney and Lucasfilm and is created by George Lucas. See you next week in the Dicey Cantina.